Ok. Expedición 33 Goty. No voy a mentir. Goty Material. Hasta el momento el Goty para mí de 2025. Hasta que no salga algo mejor que Super Expedición 33, para mí no hay nada que sea Goty. GTA ya no está por ahí. Elden Ring, pues sabemos lo que es Elden Ring, lo que va a dar. Pero Expedición 33 fue este juego que vino de la nada. Storytelling, música, combate, visual, performance, los actores. ¿Qué ustedes quieren que le diga? Llena todos los requisitos para ser Goty. Luego de eso, para mí, Crimson Desert. Todo lo que he visto de Crimson Desert es peak combat. Peak combat. Por lo menos los bosses. He enseñado un poquito de lo que es el open world, pero no lo suficiente. Vamos a ver el performance. Esto viene saliendo para... ¿Cuándo era que salía Crimson Desert? Yo no tengo ni mi celular por aquí, pero déjame chequear aquí. Let me Google it. Crimson, déjame buscar el... Crimson Release Day. Vamos a ver. Ahí lo tienen. En algún momento del 2025. No hay fecha exacta. Viendo que hay un performance preview, asumo que debe estar por ahí cerca ya. No se debe tardar mucho. Pero vamos a ver esto. Si quieren ver par de las cositas que hemos visto de Crimson Desert, hay un montón. Un montón. Ahí es donde mató a este corillo en un preview que yo vi. Pop, pop.
World action adventure Crimson Desert, a spin-off single-player game standing on the shoulders of their MMORPG Black Desert.
By the way, ese corillo fue el que hizo Black Desert.
Hands-on with the game on PC, and I came away with more details about the technology that powers it and why this could be one of the biggest games of 2025.
Le estoy diciendo. Esto, para mí, y Expedition 33, by the way, este era el juego que yo tenía como que más hypeado este año. Pero Expedition 33 me voló la cabeza. Y el soundtrack más todavía. Pero este para mí, yo diría que es lo más que puede competir con Expedition 33.
Now, Crimson Desert
hay que ver
Perlibis' own in-house new proprietary Black Space engine. This new engine is very impressive in the modern world of commercialized and commoditized engines, offering all the modern features and functions of those same competitors. A core pillar is support for multi-platform development, aided by dual API support in DirectX 12 and Vulkan, making it efficient and within the team's full control to harness its benefits.
Ok, vamos a tener aquí Rendering 2, Support for Scale DSL, Ray Tracing, GPU, Processor, Full Time. Eso es todo lo que...
Across each platform. Another is the key temporal upscaling ingredient required from multiple vendors. The demo I played fully supports AMD's FSR 3 and the team confirmed FSR 4 come launch as the API front end is compatible. In addition, the team confirmed DLSS will also be included, but for others such as PSSR for the PS5 Pro or Intel's XESS, this was not confirmed. Now, the team may include other options when it lands on PC, PS5 and Xbox Series consoles and even Apple Mac, but we'll have to wait till launch. The demo was a few months old. I confirmed with the team that it was the same build from GDC in March and running on an AMD Radeon 7800 XT GPU and a Ryzen 7800X 3D CPU. The hands-on demo and the release footage from the team was capped at 4K 60 FPS for our session and this direct capture you see, but I was allowed to push this higher without capture. The RX 7000 series GPUs are good, but even within AMD GPU range, it can scale up from here, and in reality, the final game will be significantly more polished and more performant come launch. The visual quality is great, but the image presented upscaler artifacts, and it has a lot to handle here, with heavy use of motion blur per object and per pixel, particles, foliage, and more. It would be a very hard task for any upscaler. Image quality is good, but the telltale signs of ghosting, dithered artifacts, foliage flicker and such do show up from time to time, leaving little doubts of FSR 3's fingerprints here. FSR 4, PSSR and DLSS will certainly fare better if included in the final release builds, but I'm sure we will see big strides in this already solid base, and it certainly was a looker.
En verdad, todo lo que yo he visto de este juego hasta el momento se ve súper bien. Lo que sí necesitamos es un release date
without ray
rush.
tracing, which is included in the toolkit with real-time global illumination, shadows, and looks to include reflections. But it is not alone in the feature-rich technical options the team can pick from. For example, even without ray tracing enabled, the game still supports real-time lighting and global illumination, and it falls back to signed distance fields, ray marching, or SDF light calculations. Now, this is similar to ray tracing, but it's less precise and thus less expensive to run, which helps it scale down to a wider user hardware base. Real-time physics and fluid simulation are also supported in addition to GPU-accelerated particles, offering vast rendering scale, complete with fluid-based fog volumes and volumetric clouds, dynamic weather, procedural snow, tessellated geometry and landscapes, physics-based water simulation that collides with rocks and itself, creating some of the very best water in games I've seen for years, and up there with Rockstar like foliage, hair, cloth physics, along with procedural destruction and weighted combat, and complex AI state models and procedural generation all offer up a full suite of options for the team to tailor the engine to each game and platform. All modern rendering.
Para que tengan una idea, cuando yo empecé a jugar, no existía nada de este ray tracing. Lo nieve, sabíamos que era nieve porque era blanco. Quizás veíamos un poquito de las rocas así lejos. Esto iba a ser bien verdoso todo, usualmente un poco de roca aquí. Los juegos hoy en día se ven demasiado.
Techniques such as screen space effects, ray tracing.
Mira para allá, te dice aquí a la izquierda, día 3, Wednesday, 1:20 p.m. Está la...
based rendering, procedural generation, destruction, and much,
el
more.
gaming.
Ensure
mira la ciudad, mira, se tira en el piso ahí. Oh, esos son gigantes. Vas para atrás. Vamos aquí que a mí se me... Vamos a salir del full screen, vamos otra vez. Vamos a darle para atrás un poquito aquí. Yo diría que empezando esta aquí, ¿verdad? Aquí.
Much more, ensure it can keep up with its peers.
Vamos a ver cómo se ve la ciudad, porque usualmente lo que he visto es combate, no he visto, ¿sabes? Ok. Tenemos gigantes aquí todo en la ciudad, o sea, giants, literal. Mira, aquí hay 3. Quiero saber un poquito más de la historia de este juego.
Now, technical bullet points do not a game make, and the team knows this. Like the Halo days of the C64 Amiga,
cuando yo vi esa pelea, yo dije,
engines were
contender,
often made
Game of the Year
for the game itself. Here, the team have done the same, creating the technology focus of the engine to drive their creative aims, but also building an entire pipeline within their technology stack, starting with their own motion capture and art studio to create smooth motion, cinematics, and excellent visuals on display. The real-time cinematics use the motion capture well to aid nuance, charm, and flair throughout, but it's also to capture the action performance that translates into the strikes, flips, kicks, and combat from those core combat sections. Now, this level of quality and investment in the game's development stack shows that Perlibis are ramping up to deliver high-quality AAA games with the full suite of engine technology, motion capture studios, in-house art, design, and sound teams. And the results here are very, very impressive.
Deberían darse la vuelta y ver los gameplays de Crimson Desert. Todos están on fire, todos.
But vastly different-looking DokeV, which shares the engine and development pipeline, but it creates its own style, gameplay, and quality from those very same tools. Now, this reflects well on the team's potential to deliver a varied range of games and styles for all audiences.
If you like, I shall grant you wealth, power. Thought you could still feel Draven's breath.
Now, during these encounters that I tested in the demo, it was apparent to me that the game's control and combat system is very intricate, offering a plethora of moves, timing, tactics, and awareness, all being key. Button bashing will quickly end in defeat. Instead, parries, dodges, magic, projectiles, and more are all vital for success. Now, many of these had swarms of enemies that could divert your attention from the main foe, such as these humanoid terracotta pots, which show off the game's excellent particle system, procedural destruction, and artistic flair on magical effects. Now, these battles also demonstrates the excellent memory and camera system that they have built, often overlooked in reviews and technical analysis.
El sistema de cámara está exagerado. O sea, la pelea puede estar bien hardcoreosa, pero tú sabes todo lo que está pasando.
Gameplay without any obvious jumps, warps,
no te pierdes como que ¿dónde estoy? ¿Qué hay? Todas estas cosas en la pantalla. Como Suicide Squad.
And engagement within the game. The amount being thrown around at any given time is immense, and at times can be overwhelming. This is where some problems did arise, not least of which was the camera and lock-on. Now, normally not a showstopper in boss battles, but due to the amount of enemies you can face, plus the relentless barrage of attacks you can receive, it made the fights artificially harder as I lost orientation and thus missed strikes, leaving me fighting with the camera, scenery and controls. Now they need to improve the lock-on and camera system so it tracks the focused enemy.
Entiendo que esa peleita sí realmente el problema estaba literalmente el árbol metido en el medio.
Keeps both vertical and horizontal axis swings within a finite range. This would help balance the frantic style that they aim for while still allowing you to keep your enemies and strikes within range at all times. The character physics from strikes can also be a little floaty on occasion, which needs the physics model to update to reflect more weight and less momentum when hit. And I gave this feedback to the team, and I'm confident that these areas in need of refinement will be improved in the final build. And even though I only had a short time with the game and was certainly thrown in at the deep end, I improved a great deal, and I was keen to play more beyond this very small teaser. As a technical chap, first and foremost, the level of passion, skill, scale and quality on show here from Pearl Abyss is exceptional. The game offers a romantic mix of character-driven story, open-world adventure that the development team stated to me was more Breath of the Wild than Witcher 3 in design. Excellent yet tough and rewarding combat that is tough but skill-based, with a plethora of moves, timing, skills and awareness within. It relies on melee and magic with pyrotechnics everywhere thanks to that GPU-powered particle system. They have delivered a feature-rich engine that offers all the big options needed to succeed and deliver in the AAA space. A clear passion for the medieval period and the rustic, rugged and magical setting has an authentic feel of that history and period. Combat shows a great deal of variety and skill. The engine can scale up and down by a huge margin, and even though performance and quality could certainly be higher from a game that still has over 6 months or more of development left behind it already presents an excellent level of quality and performance with much time left to improve each come launch. Now I do look forward to seeing more from the team and the game in the coming months, and also getting more information on the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions just how close they come to this high-end PC experience. Maybe, just maybe, there can be more than one engine after all. That's it for game technology previews and all things Crimson Desert related. Remember, if you like what we do here on IGN Performance Reviews and Performance Previews, then keep it IGN, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Sencillo. Vamos a ver el resultado final. Bueno, se supone que eso sale 2025. Ya estamos casi a mitad de 2025. Así que asumo que pronto vamos a estar viendo un release day mínimo de Crimson Desert. Pero hasta el momento, mi Goty 2025 va a seguir siendo Space 133. Qué pena. Pero es la real. Así que no olvides que me puedes seguir en dónde. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, X, para que vean todo lo que estamos haciendo, vacilen con nosotros y sean parte del journey. Nos vemos, hablamos.
It's one small step for man, one